safari. It's taken us about an hour and 15 minutes to get to this point. That's how busy they are today. There's our four-wheel drive vehicle.
Let's go.
Oh, here we go.
Well, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard. My name is Angela, and I'm going to be your safari guide here on the Harambe Wildlife Reserve.
Hi, Angela.
Hello. How are we all doing today?
Great.
Great. I love it. Any first-time safari goers here?
This one.
Yay! Welcome, welcome, my friends. To those of you returners, welcome back. As we head out there, I do have a couple of requests. First and foremost, I do need everybody fully and completely seated, keeping those hands and arms tucked inside of the truck at all times. We're going to be passing through a lot of rough brush out here. Might have some sharper thorns attached, plus the roads are unpaved, which does make for a pretty rough and bumpy trip. So we want to make sure everyone is staying safe. If you do have any loose articles, hats, cameras, cell phones, anything else that you don't want to lose, make sure that you're holding on nice and tight to it for me. Unfortunately, should anything happen to fall off the side of the truck, the ward will not allow me to stop and go back and get it for you. I don't want you to lose anything. I'm sure you don't want you to lose anything. So just make sure we're holding on to everything nice and tightly. If you guys are planning on taking pictures, which of course I highly recommend, we're going to see some pretty incredible things out here. I would also recommend getting those cameras out and ready right now. You never know where or when we might spot an animal out here. It's always a good idea to have them at the ready.
Say hello.
I would also recommend, if at all possible, to set those cameras to something with a faster shutter speed, like a sports or action mode. Unfortunately, we can't make stops for everything that we're going to see out here, but we will stop for a few things along the way and go nice and slowly by the rest. I just want to make sure you're getting the best possible photos. So, with that all clear light from the warden, we are going to get started here in the Ituri Forest. Now, it is very important to keep in mind that most of the animals that call the forest their home are incredibly shy. They like to use their natural colors as camouflage. It helps them to blend into their background and surroundings. Now, keep a very close eye over to your right-hand side, all the way far off by the tree there. You'll see a brown animal kind of reaching up a little bit. That's the okapi. It has a kind of a whitish-gray face.
Yeah.
The okapi are very, very reclusive. They were not actually discovered by Western civilization until the year 1901. Up until that point, they were considered to be a myth.
Whoops.
Now, they are actually the only living relatives to giraffes as well, the okapi. They have a very similar skull structure to their cousin, as well as a very long tongue. Just to name a couple of things that they've got in common. Alright, let's see here. Watering holes like the one we're approaching here do provide excellent gathering places as well for many of the animals who call the forest their home. So let's see. Oh, look up here on the hill straight ahead of us. Look. See those lighter tan colored ants? Look, those are the greater kudu. One of the tallest antelope species in Africa. The greater kudu stand about 55 inches at the shoulder. Oh my goodness, you guys. But just up ahead here on our left, we're going to see a beautiful black rhino right over here. What a rare sight. Unfortunately, due to illegal poaching, there are fewer than 5,000 black rhinos remaining in the entire world.
Yeah.
It's incredibly heartbreaking, especially when you consider how powerful that creature can be. About 3,000 pounds fully grown, and they are more than capable of charging at speeds of around 35 miles an hour. And regulates their body temperatures. I'm going to pull up a little bit more here. There's actually several more hippos off to your left, so I'm just going to pull up right between here.
There we go.
Get a good view on both sides.
I want to say beautiful.
They're enjoying it.
A whole group of hippos like this is called a bloat of hippos. Yeah.
Look at the size of
Look at the size of that.
The Nile crocodiles, they can reach anywhere from about 16 to 20 feet long.
That's a lot of crocodiles.
They can weigh up to about 500 pounds and run at 10 miles an hour on land. And those very intimidating jaws down there, they have a bone-crushing power of about 2,000 pounds of pressure per square inch, which is a little bit intimidating, I'm not going to lie. You see a couple of them down there with their mouths hanging wide open too. It's not because they're hungry. No, crocodiles are actually ectothermic. They don't have sweating moments. They love to eat. Giraffes spend a good majority of their day eating. That sounds pretty good. But there is a flip side to that, and unfortunately, the flip side to that is that they only sleep for about 30 minutes every single day. I don't think I could be a giraffe. It's not enough sleep for me. And that 30 minutes isn't taken all at once. It's usually short, 2 to 3 minutes. They do not need a running start.
There's a giraffe. Right there, eating.
Massive. They're about 4 to 6 feet long, about 20 inches around at the base. and they look so heavy. But if they were totally solid on the inside, I can imagine they'd be nearly impossible to carry around on top of their heads all day. So actually, they're mostly hollow, save for the exception of a honeycomb structure inside of them, which allows their blood to circulate and helps them to keep from overheating. Now the white-bearded wildebeest are also grazing up on the hill here. Wildebeest have one of the largest migratory patterns of any mammal. Up to 1.5 million of them can migrate across the savanna together each year. Quite an impressive sight to behold for sure. And also over here on your right, those smaller antelope, tan on top, white underneath, those are the springbok. Tiny little antelope. They are fully grown at about 3 feet tall, and they get their name from their incredible ability to leap upwards of about 6 feet high and about 13 feet forward repeatedly to get away from predators. Oh,
He's a big one.
Yeah, he's a big
one of those giraffes over there on your left. One more. Top of the rock. Largest monkeys in the world, known for their vibrantly colored blue and red faces. The males have the very bright colors. They're much larger too, weighing in at about 100 pounds. While females have more of a dull color on them. Oh, awesome view of that African elephant to your right. Looks like he's all by himself too, so it's probably a male. The males are typically very solitary, and they separate from their herds once they've fully matured. They'll spend most of their lives then on their own or in loose bachelor groups. But unfortunately, elephants' biggest threats at this point in time are people. Poachers are not only targeting them for their ivory tusks, but they're also facing a massive loss of habitat, which is mainly due to a lot of mining that's been rapidly encroaching on their homes. Now, that mining is for a mineral called coltan, which is something that's found in a lot of our everyday electronic devices, laptops, cameras, batteries, cell phones, a lot of different things like that. But we're going to head a little bit further out into elephant country just up ahead. Maybe we'll get lucky enough to find a herd. Elephants are largely matriarchal, meaning the women are in charge. I do think that's pretty well deserved, considering they are pregnant for about 22 months.
Wow. Good.
That is a pretty great view right there.
They're beautiful.
Baby elephants out.
Baby's got wrinkles all over him.
Yeah, you go.
He's got room to grow.
He's going to grow into his skin.
Yep. He or she.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, look at the bird. Oh, no, it's
Oh, a couple more elephants over here. We are coming up on Flamingo Island. The greater flamingos are the largest and the least pink of all the flamingo species. They get their pink color from their diet, which does consist mainly of brine shrimp and other aquatic animals with beta-carotene in it. That means that flamingos don't actually hatch pink, they'll hatch gray initially. It takes about a year or so of being on that diet with beta-carotene in it for them to fully turn that pink color. So remember how I told you I tell you my favorite view? It's right here.
Oh, look, that's beautiful.
Oh, that's
It's kind of like a,
There's
like
that
a postcard.
baobab
It's just
tree.
beautiful, especially with those elephants in the background. Gotta love that. Views like that never get old.
No.
Run over the truck.
Oh, he's
We don't run
gorgeous.
into it.
That
Look
is
at that.
beautiful. White rhinos are actually much larger than the black rhinos too. They tip the scales closer to 4,000 to 5,000 pounds.
That was gorgeous.
Still very capable of charging at speeds of around 35 miles an hour, but they've got really, really bad eyesight. You can only see about 10 feet in front of them. It puts them at quite a disadvantage when dealing with poachers who find their horns very valuable on the black market. Apparently they are said to have some sort of medicinal properties to them, which is not at all true. Rhino horns are made of keratin, which is the same protein that makes up our own hair and fingernails.
The big lion said, you see it? Right there.
Now, lions are particularly inactive during the day. As you can see, they actually lay around resting and sleeping for about 18 to 20 hours a day, and you know what? Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I think I want to be a lion.
Look at the ostrich.
Oh, a couple of ostrich coming up here.
Look at that.
I'm leaving.
There they go.
You'll see those white rhinos again over here on your right. You might wonder why they're called white rhinos. They're really not all that white. It actually has nothing to do with their coloration. The Afrikaans people initially called them the white rhinos, white in Afrikaans, in reference to their very wide, flat mouths. Very wide, square jaws that make it very easy for them to graze directly off the ground. Now, the English did colonize in that area, and
is the result of some of this carver's work. It's just amazing. He carved all these by hand. Unbelievable.
Wish she had a small hippopotamus. You know?
Yep. Amazing detail in this work. Hakuna Matata. No worries. We're going into Pandora.
What happened now?
Over there.
Valley of Mora. Pandora.
And you told her I was reading the sign. You just didn't know that.
He's coming from this way or the other way?
Hurry up, go.
Hi, Explorer, how are you doing? Good.
That one.
Oh no. Freaky.
Bring the backpack in to eat, or in when we get our food. Or what? You can get the food and then bring it out, something like that, and then I'll go back in.
Oh my. All kinds of creature sounds in this place.
Isley.
I know if it,
We'll go to the side as we're wandering aimlessly. I'd like to know where we're going.
we're in Avatar land. I have no idea where we're going. We're just going. Very strange land. We've never been in here before.
At night these things are supposedly glow.
We don't know what these things are because we've never seen the movie, but all I can say is they look like they would eat you. Don't know what they are. This is.
Yeah. I'll show you.
Look at his hook coming out of it.
Yeah.
I like the buffalo. Oh, look, right here. See the eyes?
Mm-hmm.
It's a snail.
Elephant
Fish.
carved into the woodwork here. Nice and quiet and surreal back here. Need a break from the crowd. Look at that carving of a phoenix in the Tree of Life. Isn't that gorgeous? We're going into the Nile River journey. Let's do our fast pass first.
I can see it again.
Here we go. This is the standby line over here for Navi River Journey, and it is packed, it is loud. Thank goodness for us, we're in the fast pass lane, so we're going to go this way and beat the crowd. We got to do the fast pass thing again. We're in the loading area now, and we're waiting for our boat to come. Our boat. Our boat's here. Here we go. Ooh.
It's like the alien.
Yeah. Navi River Journey. What wondrous things will we behold in here?
I'll sing your name. Masano Kanao.
Just come off the Navi River journey. Oh my goodness, that was spectacular. We videotaped it, so hopefully the footage will turn out really nice and enjoyed as much as we did. It was magnificent.
The animatronic of the shaman, she looks real. She looks like she's a live sentient being. It's amazing.
Oh, the sounds, the smells, it was just
the animals.
It was just like being right there in their world.
Small animals, the
Oh,
babies.
it was fantastic. We really enjoyed it. So if we're lucky, maybe we'll get to do it again before we leave.